Watch this video and then I'll be back.
By 2030, 45% of working women ages 25 to 45 will be non-married, no kids, single.
So what's wrong with that?
So you might say, well, what's wrong with that? If you think that you're going to genuinely be fulfilled in life because you made money, best of luck to you.
Okay, so he had one perspective. I'm going to give you another. And this one's coming from an actual woman who was single and child-free and fulfilled. When I was a little child in the 70s, my grandmother and her two sisters, all very well-educated women, especially for that time period, looked at me and said, never depend on a man. And I was like, I'm 5. But what they were trying to instill in me was that my independence was important. They knew that a good education, especially at that time, led to financial freedom. And when you have financial freedom, you make better decisions for your life. I was married for 22 years. We never shared a bank account and we never had joint credit cards. When I got my amicable divorce, my lawyer said it was one of the easiest that he had ever done. And I wasn't planning on getting divorced, but having financial independence definitely made it easier. And it helped me with the decision that it was time to leave. I never felt trapped. I knew that I had my own money, and I knew that I had 4 college degrees. Whoever comes into my life at this point is here because I want them here, not because I need them here. I have a fantastic and supportive boyfriend, and he's in my life because I want him in my life. He doesn't pay any of my bills. We don't live together, and I have no intentions of getting married. I have a fantastic and supportive family. I have a huge group of female friends. I have a job that I love. I have hobbies I adore. I feel valued, connected, and fulfilled. I don't have a husband, and I don't have children. If you want a husband and you want children, great, please do it. That will be fulfilling for you. I just don't want you to listen to some guy with a podcast saying that you will be a miserable old crone if you don't do these things. Only you know what's right for you, and that's what you have to follow. There are some of us here in our 50s and older who led the way for this, and we're telling you, it's a damn good life. This is a picture I have of my grandmother and her 2 sisters when I was 17.
40, you're gonna want kids. Stop saying y'all don't want kids. That's a damn lie.
Have you considered that some men don't want to have children? They just want to make children. They don't want to raise them, but they want their child to carry his last name. Some men only have children because they'll have a built-in maid, cook, house cleaner, shopper. But have you also considered that some women don't want to have children because they fear a lack of support, being high risk for postpartum depression, fear of not being able to recover mentally or physically because of the changes incurred by pregnancy? Having a child isn't a game at all.
If I was a woman, I wouldn't want to have a child either. Why would I want to have a child? I don't need to have a child. I don't need to have a man. I don't need to pretend that I'm in love. I don't need to pretend that I want to be a mother. I don't need to stay at home and play giggle with a little child who's just another slave in the system. I don't have to do any of this shit. Why should I do that? Why should I waste my resources doing this when there's other games that are much more fun that are available for me to play? Why? And don't tell me I will find fulfillment, because my mother didn't find fulfillment. My grandmother didn't find fulfillment. And that's why I'm the byproduct of their lack of fulfillment. So I'm talking as a woman, right? I'm the byproduct of my mom, my grandmother, and all these lineages of women that came before me. And I'm the byproduct of their discontent. And then you tell me I should do the same thing as they did. Well, quite clearly it didn't work out. So why I should do this? What's the point? How's that going to fulfill me? And the only reason I did that before, or a couple of generations ago, is because the zoo required me, through its ordained religious priests and its science of the time, which was religion, that imposes us to do that and gave us, this is what you are as a woman, you're supposed to give birth. And you as a man are supposed to go work in the field like a donkey. This was ordered by the zookeepers in order for us to create more slaves so that we can build the zoo and make the zoo structure increase and grow and grow and grow. So I didn't really want to have a child. I was obliged to have a child. It was what I did because there's nothing else to do. And that was what was told to me to do, even though it may match my biology. I didn't necessarily want to have a child. What for? What's in it for me?
I'm one of those women who is 99% sure that they do not want kids. This is something that I have been open about for as long as I can remember. I'm almost 31. I am married. This is something that I brought up to my now husband when we first started dating. He was obviously cool with still marrying me with the possibility that we'd never have kids. But I thought that this would be something interesting to talk about because most of the time when people hear that I don't want kids, they think it's because, you know, I want freedom and I want to be able to go travel whenever I want to. I don't want to deal with the sleepless nights and all of just the stress that comes with having a child. And that really is part of it, but I think it goes deeper than that. So to backtrack a little bit, the other day I was talking to a friend, and most of my friends, when they get to that point where they're ready to start having kids, I can feel that they feel very tense about telling me that because they know that I'm that person that really doesn't like kids, doesn't want kids. And of course, I'm always going to be happy for my friends if that's something that they genuinely want. But I asked this friend that came to me and told me that her and her husband are getting to the point where they're ready to start trying to have kids. I said, what is that feeling like to know that you're ready for that? Like, what kind of gets you to that place that you are now? And she was telling me that when she saw other people announce that they were pregnant, she felt this longing inside of her to experience that. And she started, you know, seeing other families out and about with kids and started thinking like, that's really something that I want. It's just this like internal feeling, this internal urge. And I was telling her that I have literally never felt that in my life. I've never had that feeling or that natural urge or that desire to be pregnant or to have a baby. When I see babies, there's nothing that draws me to them. It's not that I'm repulsed by babies. I don't care for them. It's honestly kind of like how some people have that urge to run a marathon, even if they're not in shape, if they've never been a runner in their life, because they feel like that is something that they just have to check off their list. They just have to do it to feel like they've lived. Whereas I feel the same way about babies and marathons. I don't need either of those to make my life feel complete.
So ironically, I get this conversation a lot. Whenever it comes to the topic of having kids, and I tell the person I'm speaking with that I don't ever want kids, they're absolutely caught aghast. They're just like, what? Sayang naman yung lahi mo. Ano ako, aso? And a lot of people are just like, oh, wait till you have them. Dude, that's the point. I don't want them. I even talked to my little siblings about it when they were babies. And I was like, I don't want any kids. I'm okay with like having you guys to kind of help raise and everything. And then my brother was like, why do you hate your children? How could I hate my children that I've never had? And just to be clear, I don't hate kids. But there are some people who don't want kids because they hate kids. I will literally be every single child's ninang. Like all of my barkada. Okay, well, my barkada really wants a lot of kids. So I will be the ninang of most of your kids. But besides the point, I'm okay with kids. But I don't want to have them. And when people demand an answer as to why, honestly, I don't have to give you an explanation. But I want to share with you guys why I personally do not want kids. I came from a broken family. My parents separated when I was only 4. And as early as then, I already knew how babies came to be. They come out of the coochie. And at that age, I didn't even know there were holes down there. So immediately I was like, how else is the baby gonna come out? So there's that. I don't want that physical pain of birth giving. And as I grew up, I realized how difficult it actually is to give birth for most cases. And how high the hospital bill can actually get. I also learned how much stress the female body goes through. You go through fluctuating hormones, you start to wonder, you get anxious most of the time. Some people get extremely depressed, some people get acid reflux. My second major reason is because me as a person, I know that I want to focus on what I can do because I know myself best and I want to achieve a lot of things throughout my lifetime. So I know I won't be able to do most of these things when I have a kid because then I will be focusing on the life of that kid. And it wouldn't be fair naman to focus on my life while I have a child because I've been through that. I have been in the place of that child. And my final reason is that when I have a partner, I want to spend my life with the partner. Most of the time when you have a kid with your partner, it becomes also about the kid. And I know, of course, there are people out there who absolutely love their families. They're in a loving family, a loving home. They're able to balance it all out. But for me, I want to spend my entire lifetime with my partner. I want to experience new things every single day, every single week, every single year without a kid. I just want to be with my partner. So naturally, if my partner wants kids...
Trend of childless by choice women who are ranting about how great their life is without children and how...
Listen, I have 3 kids of my own. First one was an accident. Second one was an accident. Third one was an accident. I love my children. I can't explain it, how I would literally die for them in a heartbeat. I didn't think I would ever love something so much. And I didn't even think I wanted to be a mom. And literally, I cannot imagine my life without them. But if you don't have kids, don't do it. Don't do it. I just got a notification on my phone that my bank account was overdrafted. So